Hello, Battlebox Clan, and welcome to a brand new game called Automation. Now, there's a few reasons why I wanted to do this game. One, you can build cars. As you can see, I have built two cars already, one by myself and one with my dad's suggestions. But I've yet to build one in a video, so that's what I'm going to need to do. And another reason why I wanted to uh, make this, I guess, to do this is because once you finish your car, you can export it to Beam, like BeamNG. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I am in body selection. I'm not sure what car I'm going to do. I'm thinking like 1969, muscle car with a big V8. Although that supercar at the beginning, the Brockle Battle Box, uh, no, there's a Tony. um, that had a turbocharged V8, but another thing I'm kind of thinking is going to 2006, go to body type, and then sedan, and then making something like a Subaru WRX or something. Like Impreza WRX. I think I'll go with this and morph the thing to shape. 0.8 meters, I guess. I don't know how long it is, and I'm not going to be searching it up. So, selected that. Now, chassis. That could. Wait. Well, I guess it's turning out to be an Evo with a flat form, but I think I'm going to go aluminum uh, monocoque. Steel front. I think the layout for WRX is front longitudinal, double wishbone at the front, and back. Big quality. This is really looking like an Evo. Need to smoosh that front end in a little bit. Fixtures. Now, drivetrain and engine type. So, I can close off my reference image, finally. I want to say maybe helical. Helical new project. Manual Boxer 4 aluminum light or aluminum light. I'm gonna say 2.5 liter. I think stroke does torque, or is it bore? Okay, 2.5 liter flat 4 dual overhead cam iron performance or aluminum? Aluminum standard. Yes, big quality. What are you complaining about? Clearance, engine, I don't care. There's that. Crank, forged steel, conrods, forged, cast, pistons, forged light, harmonic, something like that. Next, compression, I don't know, something like that. Cam profile, 75. Yes. Rev limit. I think they rev to about 6.5 grand. No VTEC. Big quality. Uh, Now I have done aspirated engines like turbo and supercharger. I think I'm gonna do sequential compound turbo twin. I'm gonna come back to that later. Multi-point EFI per cylinder, fuel map, that. Ooh, I want to say ethanol blend or unleaded. Big Should be waiting till I actually have a graph to look at, but headers, mid, exhaust. I think it just had one huge exhaust. Something like that. Yeah. Catalytic converter. Two-way. Baffled. None. Ah. Excessive torque. What? Bruh. How do I... Bottom end. Okay. Forged? Yeah, we got a graph. Okay. Now. Turbo. Aspiration. Turbocharged. That's actually not that bad. Let's see what it sounds like here. That sounds very nice, but aspiration. I am gonna try to give it less lag. Not sure what exactly to do. I guess this is fine. Wait, hold on. I guess I can go back to here. No, fixtures. Exhaust tip. Next. Clearance. I don't care. Next. Manual. 6-speed. That should be fine. Maybe a bit more top. That is a bit optimistic, I think. View next panel. Radio. All terrain, I suppose? Those are tiny front wheels. My gosh. That's a bit big. Back here. The big. That should be fine. Alloy. Solid disc. 4 bit bigger. Solid disc. Slightly worse. A bit. Oh. That as big as I can. Oh, just lag. 200. Pad type. Bit more sporty. Quality, the big. Seat count, there's only 2 in the actual car. Interior, standard. Now, steering. I think either hydraulic rack and pinion or manual rack and pinion. I think I'll go with manual rack and pinion because I don't think I think in real life they don't have power steering. These early 2000s rally cars. Traction aids, none, just ABS, because it's actually safety, advanced 10s, quality, big. I'll come back to that weight distribution in a bit. Springs, only 1.3 tons. That's not bad, since it's kind of a mix between a Mitsubishi and a Subaru export car. And we'll see you in BeamNG. So, here we are in BeamNG. The steering is definitely something. But this thing can shift. I mean, look at that. So, driving it is actually really nice. It has a lot of feeling through the steering, which is a nice thing. Good suspension, actually. A bit of understeer. Kind of like the Impreza. Jeez, this thing has quite heavy steering. Kind of like the Impreza, or more so like the Sunburst. But it still can go. And one thing that's new to this setup is a new handbrake, which it seems like Christmas every year brings a new thing to the setup. I think the steering is slightly broken. Whoa. Jeez. Ooh. That kind of wrecked the car. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Last year it was a monitor. This year it is a handbrake. Pull and drift. This flat 4 is nice. Now we will be doing... My wheel's going nuts. We will be doing a few tests, kind of like what Grog does, and one of them is kind of obvious, I feel like. A proper quarter mile in Beam NG. Crap. Okay, now we are at the drag strip. This thing can... Whoa, that's the wrong way. That was bad. This thing can go, though. A bit of turbo lag. Could use slightly shorter gears. Did the time calibrate? A 13.0. A 13 second quarter mile. That's actually not that bad. Now, for the circuit test. Lock that. We will be using long course alternate 2, I think. Shift down. This thing actually can pull out of corners. Okay, this thing does not turn. Well, it does, it's just... This thing can actually really pull out of corners like those. Now, the reason why I chose this one is because there's a little chicane. Ooh, that was a bad. As it has this little chicane, kind of like on the Moore's End Straight at Le Mans. I was just about to pull the handbrake. That would have been a very bad idea. Oh, the understeer. My gosh, should have made those front tires quite a bit wider. I want to pull the handbrake, but I can't. Well, it's not necessarily that I can't. It's just I won't. How much fuel does this car chug? That's not good. This thing actually isn't that bad. Pull, pull, pull. Wait, how many laps did I do? Okay, we are back, and this time on the correct track layout. Whoa, should have shifted down, but the engine is so quiet I can't hear the thing. And that catalytic converter, even though it wasn't the greatest, probably choking this thing to death, pretty much. And across the line. That did a 2-minute 32.4. I wouldn't say that as bad. Now, you may be asking, am I going to do any crazy configurations of the, I already forgot what it's called. And to the answer to that question is... yeah, and I also made a barometer car, too. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly take the barometer car around, and then we'll check out the upgraded version of that. Now, if you're wondering what the specs are for this tiny little hatchback that I have called... Ooh, I forgot it has no ABS! Whew. It is called a car, and the specs are like 990 or 980 kilograms, so just under a ton. Whoa, this thing, the back end of this thing likes to kick out. I probably should have made the back tires a bit thicker. Now, I did put a 5-speed manual transmission, because this is kind of something that you would probably see in England or something, or in Birmingham or whatever. That's why I put some British plates on it. So this is basically my version of the car. And I hope this series of just making the most random stuff, kind of like what Grog TV is doing, actually lasts. Okay. Ow. Somehow, the car that doesn't have really much horsepower at all is biting my head off. How does that work? And, cross the line. Bonk. That did a 302. Not too bad. So this is the Mitubaru Imprevo. Pivo? I don't know. Can't remember. But, you might be able to hear that whine. That's because, as you can see here, it's twin charged. So that means I have very similar setup, like turbo setup, to the regular Mitubaru Imprevo, or Impevo, whatever. So, except for, it's a whole heck of a lot more powerful. And this thing actually does have ABS. And yeah, it's a twin charge flat 4. Very weird combination, and I do believe it does have a little bit of turbo lag. And this particular one is the Group A variant. But I'm going to quickly be taking it around the dirt track over here. There was basically the rally track. And it does have some more chunky off-road tires. And it does now have, holy, a 6-speed sequential. This thing's already collapsing in on itself. Oof. The beam strike on this thing is surprisingly low, and I just had to do a double pull on that handbrake just to get it to turn. Turn. Oh, it's over. My wheel's going nuts. Okay, simmer down. Jeez. Give it the boings. Holy, this thing can speed. Okay, no. I forgot to make the brakes bigger. That's why it's taking so long to slow down. Bruh. Even though it's like has the most amount of understeer, and even though I gave it the thickest front tires, although it's chunky off-road tires instead of all-terrain, so that means a big understeer. But powering out of corners, this thing is amazing. And that was slower by a second. Hope you guys liked it. And let me know if you want to see more of this. Or drop a like if you want to see more of this, because I actually really find it fun to do. Because you get to try your creations in-game and actually drive them instead of just watching them go around a test track in a top-down view. But, yeah. Anyway, hope you guys... the drift! Hope you guys liked it. If you did, smash like, subscribe. See y'all next time. BattleBox, out.